Probably price still has downside to go, but look at it like you're going to get the best buying opportunity of your life.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Gareth Solway giving us his Bitcoin price prediction for the current cycle. Solway believes that Bitcoin will fall below $20,000 before the midterm. He also discusses how the Federal Reserve had been artificially pumping the stock markets through excessive money printing, but that since the US government can no longer print money to support the economy, there will be a correction. Gareth Solway explains it's important to follow the trend line and not to listen to fear in the market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy what we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
So we do have 4-year cycles. I mean, a lot of people were talking about how the cycles were getting elongated, but honestly, that hasn't been the case. It's been dead on to 4 years, basically. 2009, it was created. 2013 was the next top. 2017, 2021. So all we can do is look at history, and the history shows us that the bear market will last. So from peak to trough is usually about 12 months. We're already 6+ months in, so that's a good thing. And then usually the recovery comes in the next 6 months after, where it'll start to chop sideways and then begin to grind up. So I think, you know, as far as the charts are telling me, it's basically we are in a bear market. Probably price still has downside to go, but look at it like you're going to get the best buying opportunity of your life. I think there's a need in the world. Like, every central bank is printing money just nonstop. And we now hear that the Fed is like pulling money back and they're raising rates. But let's be honest, we all know that at some point we're going to hit another nasty recession, and they're going to go back to what they know best, which is printing money. So even in this period where you're seeing Bitcoin drop, at some point the spigot's going to get turned on again, and they will start printing. So that's where Bitcoin gets very interesting. I mean, again, there will be a point. I'm not a hodler right now, but there will be a point where I accumulate when it probably gets down 20-ish, sub 20,000. So where I'm just like, all right, now we start putting in the big money, start putting in for the long term.
It's rather surprising to some that Soloway would put his price target so far under the $20,000 mark. He goes on to say that we've never been in a crypto period where the Fed has been hiking rates this frequently, and for Bitcoin, this is uncharted territory.
So my general price target has us going to between 20 and 12,000. So I'll just start right around 20. Yeah, sorry.
Woo! Woo!
Sorry. But again, it's a short-term low. And you have to keep in mind is like, so crypto's never been through a period where the Fed has been hiking rates like this, where they've been sucking money out of the system. So this is a new uncharted territory for Bitcoin. And in previous bear cycles, Bitcoin's dropped like 80 to 85%, which actually, that gives me my low end target of 12,000. That's right around 80-85% correction from the 69,000 high. Now, I think that because adoption is continuing and more big money is getting in, I'm hopeful that it doesn't get that low. But as a trader, one of the things I've learned is like, never underestimate the markets, whether it's stocks or crypto or anything. It will surprise you. And that could be, by the way, that could be like, hey, it maybe just starts going up right now and surprises me too. So it can do anything it wants. All we can do is kind of be smart enough to leave enough dry powder where we can accumulate at lower moves if it does happen. And so that's one of the biggest changes in my trading is like, when I was a young trader, I would be like, oh, this is the buy price. I'm going to buy it all here, put all my money in, and then it would go down further. And I'd be like, oh crap. And I can't do anything about it. Now I'm much more of like, let me put a little bit of money here. And then if it drops here, I'll add a little bit more. If it drops here, and you kind of dollar cost average, and dollar cost averaging is like the best thing in the world. I still remember I was in Dubai at the blockchain summit, and I did a live interview there. And I said, and this was when we were like at 65, 67,000, just before we hit the peak in November. And I said, hey guys, I think it's going down to 20. And oh my God, did people like, you're crazy, it'll be at 100,000 by the end of November, plan B, and all these things. And I remember it vividly. And to be honest, I use that in my trading. I mean, this may sound weird, but the contrarian, when everyone is bullish, chances are its price is topping. And then when everyone is extremely bearish, price is bottoming. So sentiment is so important as a trader to kind of pay attention to, but you have to separate yourself out so you don't get caught up in the hype. And there were dead signals on Bitcoin back in November that it was topping. I mean, there were so many bullish people out there, and price barely pierced the high from April, and it came right back in. Then it did it again. And if everyone was bullish, and buying, it should have just ripped, and it didn't. And that told you institutions were unloading there. Because I've traded for so long, I've seen a lot of these things. So like the same thing in crypto that was going on in late 2021 happened in the stock market in 2007, and then in 1999 the dot-com bubble. So I've kind of like, I've been to this rodeo, and I've got myself my head handed to me enough times where I started, like, you know, if you touch a hot stove, you're like, ah, that hurts. All right, maybe I won't touch that again. Maybe that's a signal. And that's the same thing. As you get burned enough, you start to wisen up. You have to wisen up. Don't chase something that people are pushing in social media. I think you have to be aware that, like, think for yourself. Think about, like, if you think about Bitcoin and you think about what the government's doing and you think about it, it makes sense why that should be. But there's altcoins out there that are junk that people are just trying to pump and dump. This happened, by the way, if you ever watch The Wolf of Wall Street, I've always said that what went on in that show is happening in crypto now. That was in the 1980s in stocks. It's now the 2020, 2015, 1920 and so forth in crypto. So just be aware of that. Is like, think for yourself, think logically. Don't ever chase because people are trying to get you an emotional response. And I think keep emotion out of trading. Dollar cost average, go into a trade always thinking you might be wrong. You'll be safer that way, and you won't get hammered as much. But the market does give you humility. Like, there were days, and there were countless days, more than I could even count, where I would try something and I would lose, let's say out of my 10,000, I dropped like 2 or 3,000. So 20-30% in one day. And it's just like, it breaks your heart. And you're like, can I actually do this? Am I good enough to do this? Can I ever achieve my goal? And thank goodness I stuck with it. But there certainly was so many days where you just question yourself, like what am I doing wrong? Why is this happening? And luckily I was able to pick myself up and just keep pushing ahead. And luckily we had been warning people that something like this was going to happen. And it was very much where, reading the charts, you could actually see the hype, the greed that was out there, much like the stock market in the last year, much like crypto in the last year. It was all there for the seeing. And so I started to say, all right, guys, listen, there's going to be some sort of epic event. This isn't healthy what we're seeing, and you're going to see a corrective move. So we were able to kind of warn people, which started kind of our fame of getting well known out there on Wall Street, and then kind of translated to crypto in 2017, 18, 19, and so forth.
Gareth Solway believes that the recession is soon to follow in 2022, and to keep an eye on Bitcoin. This is important for all crypto investors and traders not to fall into impulse actions when a bear market crash hits. Solway says that entering the market without an exit strategy and taking on debt without fully comprehending the possibility of being liquidated is a recipe for a massive hit to your portfolio. What do you think about Soloway's price prediction for Bitcoin? Comment down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.